crafting and talking show, Craftversations, where this month our guest is the very handsome, the very wonderful, the very talented Wes Aderhold.
Hey guys!
You probably remember Wes from the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, where everyone loved to hate him. And from other things like Character. And he has his own Etsy shop now called Chalkscribe, which you may have seen. And today, we are going to be painting picture frames. So if you want to craft along with us today, here are the things you'll need. You'll need assorted picture frames of various sizes, whatever you want. You will need some chalkboard paint that turns into a chalkboard. You will need other paints in whatever color you want, and obviously some paintbrushes and chalk. And that's all. Shall we get to it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
You can pick whichever picture frame.
I definitely want this one.
You want that one?
Yep.
I kind of had a feeling you would pick that one.
That's kind of cool.
All right. So I'm guessing the best way is to like take out the glass and paint it first, and like let that dry so that we can write on it then at the end.
Oh, wait, are we gonna paint the glass?
Yeah, you paint the glass
when you
with
write
the chalkboard
stuffs
paint.
on it.
Yeah,
You write little love notes on it.
Little love notes. And then we'll paint the outside with just colored paint. So Wes, so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I missed your sweet face.
Oh, I missed your sweet face. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, I feel like the last time I saw you, we were just smooching and getting our hearts broken. It's true.
Can you believe that was like 3 years ago?
Was it 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Holy F.
Holy F is right. What? Do you feel old? Because I do.
I feel real old.
So, Wes, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries was so huge for all of us. Well, first of all, how did you get involved? Because
With Lizzie Bennet?
Yeah. You kind of had somebody already in the cast that you knew.
Yeah, so Laura Spencer and I went to drama school together.
Where did you guys go?
We went to the University of Oklahoma.
I applied there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I applied and auditioned there, and I did not get in.
Yeah, it's like crazy small. I think they only let in like 10 kids a year or something, maybe. But, so she was already in it with you guys. I think it was just you and Ashley and Julia.
Yep.
Maybe.
Well, we were the first four.
That's when she found out that Wickham was going to be introduced. She gave me a call and said, "Hey, you should meet with the director. I think you would be perfect for this role."
I remember she was like, "I know somebody." So Laura was like,
stop cutting me off, Mary Kate.
So
she called me, said you should meet with Bernie. So I came in, and I think the first time I read with you, actually, my first audition, and I was like, wait, because I watched a few episodes of the show, and I was like, this girl has red hair, but I don't think she looks...
Were you confused?
I was confused, because I was like, you are not who I was watching. And then you made me take my clothes off, and then you were like, cool, come back and read for us again. And then it was Ashley.
Oh, did she not read the first time?
No, I think it was just you.
It's just me.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I don't remember that. We did make all the Wickhams. Well, we didn't make
disrobe
them, but we were like, it was part of the scene.
Right.
I mean,
yes,
it is an important
very true to story.
Aspect of the character.
Was very crucial to, I feel like it was very crucial to Wickham's manipulation.
Yeah. Also, which old crappy paintbrush would you like?
Do you like how I just like take the best one? I'm like, I'm gonna have these 4, and you can have the horsetail.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Do I want a bigger brush? Is what I'm thinking. Do I want no? I'll do a smaller one. You're happy with that one?
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah.
You
just
sure?
No. This one's perfect for the size of the frame.
Oh, I really like your watch.
Oh, thank you so much.
But
make sure you stir it, because it's like...
Because it's important.
Some of it's light blue, I think.
Weird.
You like that I'm like telling you what?
No, I actually really like that you're telling me what to do. Everybody that comes on the show is like, I'm terrible at crafts. I don't know what I'm doing, and you're the first person that like actually. I've been able to get away with like flying by the seat of my pants with this until you.
Well, I just wish that would have been true about school. Because then I think I would have done really well in school.
Did you not do well in school?
No, I did well in school. I just
sure you did.
didn't like the subjects other than art.
That's fair. How do you make this even? You're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think maybe as long as you do the same brushstroke for the whole thing.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
How did you enjoy school at OU?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was really great. It's cool. It was in Norman, Oklahoma, so it's kind of like this little small college town.
And where are you from originally? I know this
starts a long
this is
story.
kind of a complicated question.
Let's see. I was born in Texas, and I grew up in North Carolina for a bit, and then I lived in Dallas, Florida, and then Dallas, and then Los Angeles and New York, and Oklahoma for school.
Wow. Yeah, so what made you decide to be like, Oklahoma?
Yeah, good question.
Right?
That's not, you wouldn't think that Oklahoma would be.
Yeah, the way to go.
No, I was a gymnast my
Yes.
whole life, and I got a scholarship there.
You're so multi-talented.
Really? Oh, I thank you.
Oh, you got a scholarship to OU.
Yeah. So that's why I went there, and it was, at the time, I think it still is, I'm not sure. It was like one of the best gymnastic schools.
I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah,
but you studied theater, right?
So I studied theater. Yeah, my freshman year, I had to, because you have to pick a major or whatever, and I was going to either do art or do drama. I'd always said I wanted to, I've always wanted to actually go to theater school, but they wouldn't let me do it for gymnastics, and so I had to pick. Do I want to give up my scholarship and study theater? Yeah. Or do I want to just keep doing gymnastics and major in just whatever? And that did not seem very appealing to me.
So you gave up your scholarship to study theater?
So I gave up my scholarship, got into the theater program. It was crazy because when I decided, it was right after they had already held their auditions for the new year, new class, and I marched into the dean's office and I was like, look, I know that I'm late, but you have to see me, you have to let me audition, and of course I hadn't really done much theater before that, so I thought I was probably really terrible, but he let me audition, they let me into the program.
That's great.
And then I was just happy as a clam.
Do I need is one coat good?
Or yours is really good.
No, yours is really good. Is a thin coat good for this? I've never painted with chalkboard paint before. Or do you want it to be a little thicker?
Well, I feel since it's wet, if you just keep putting more on, you're just going to spread it out anyway. So
Right.
I feel we should probably let it dry first.
Okay,
and then see, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're letting our glass dry. I had a second where I didn't know what I was doing. And we're going to paint the frames now. So we're going to paint the frames with just normal colored, whatever color we want. What color are you going to do?
I'm going to go with white.
Nice.
For one of mine.
I think I'm going to start with this one.
And keep it simple.
This. Island green.
That sounds fancy.
Yeah.
I need you guys to know that during the commercial break, Mary Kate hiccuped, and it sounds like a chipmunk. It's a little,
I don't know if,
It's like a chipmunk hiccup.
Yeah, my hiccups are a thing that are well known to the people around me, but I don't know if the general public knows that that's a thing that I do.
Did I just kind of
No, I'm glad that you shared. That's a good factoid about me. I do have these weird little hiccups that just beep, all the time. And people are always like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, that's a cool fact about me. Let us go back to LBD, which is what we started talking about.
Okay.
So you got Castus Wickham.
The most loved, the most
loved
just
character.
Cherished, very relatable. He's a real sweetheart,
The most loved character in all of Jane Austen, for sure.
Right.
So, how was that for you? I feel like you have a very interesting experience in terms of just sort of playing the villain.
Yeah, I feel like I always get cast as a villain, so maybe that's life trying to tell me, Wes, you're kind of a bad guy.
I think it's just because you're so handsome. Everybody's like, that's not... He must be bad. He's too handsome.
You're really just saying all the right things today, I feel like. No, it was fun. It was, I mean, I honestly would rather, I think it's fun. The villain is always fun because it's, if you do your job right, people hate you. Yeah. And so I guess that's like good barometer of if you're doing your job is how much people hate you, which
because they did.
Sure got some real sweet comments on all the videos. So thank you all for your love and support through the journey of playing a villain.
Yeah, I have seen some pretty nasty things aimed at Mr. Wickham.
I feel like there's a lot of it's the down thumb, like the thumbs down click on YouTube.
Yes. Although there are a lot of very nice comments about like, wow, this guy's a great actor because I just want to punch him in the face or something.
Totally. No.
It was nice.
It was so fun. Like, we got to go to all the cons.
Yeah, did you enjoy that?
That was so fun. It was so fun to meet everybody, meet all you guys.
It was very much, I don't know, I just feel like we as a cast had a very, like...
It was fun. It was a fun process. Like,
yeah, such an interesting experience that you don't always get to have. I think it was very much kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Yeah, well, it was such an anomaly because I think web series were just becoming a thing, you know, and with it being interactive.
Mm-hmm. Had you ever done anything like that before?
Oh, no. No, it was just, you know, film and TV and theater before that. But it was cool. Just like, I think we all became really good friends, and it made the process so much more enjoyable, and I think it like strengthened everybody's chemistry on the show too.
Yeah, totally.
I know it definitely worked for ours because you know it would have been one thing if it was just like you knew that you were gonna get your heart broken by me and I was just like out to get you. I don't think that would have been as interesting as if we really played that game.
Yeah, we got to kind of, I don't know, we got to throw people off a little bit, which was fun.
Oh, totally.
Obviously, like the whole arc is very well written by Rachel Kiley, which makes a huge difference.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, but I was just, I was really excited that we got to do it the way that we did. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I was like, I was very invested in them casting you as Wickham. It was nice that they allowed us as actors to kind of be in on that process. Obviously, it wasn't up to us, but like reading with you guys and...
Totally. Well, what was it like for you? Because when I came on, you guys were already becoming a big show, but I couldn't imagine, had you done web series before that? Or
no.
You kind of started after that, right?
Yeah, well, I had done Squaresville.
Which became a huge hit as
well, it's weird because I had shot Squaresville quite a bit prior, but it ended up coming out around the same time as LBD. So I had two shows going at once, which was, both of those were my first sort of foray into web series, and it was really fun because obviously my Zelda is quite a bit different from Lydia, so I got to sort of have two very different shows going at the same time, which is really nice.
Were you like kind of nervous about playing, like such a huge literary character and then like doing it as a web series, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, none of us
because it modernized it,
Yeah. None of us expected it to get as big as it did at all. At all. We were all totally shocked by that. I like to sort of tell about how when we had the first day of shooting, I had 4 hours of sleep the night before because...
What?
Because what had happened? My movie Dream World premiered the night before, and I had a wrap party for my film The Sound in the Shadow. So I went to the premiere, and then I went to the wrap party, and I got 4 hours of sleep, and then I showed up on set for LBD. So I was like,
Yeesh.
I think if I had known, obviously those were two things that I wanted to do, the wrap party and the premiere, but had I known that LBD was going to be so huge, I might have tried to get a little more sleep. So yeah, it was a total shock to all of us that it turned out to be so huge. And I think, I don't know, I can't imagine what it was like for you guys coming into it sort of, during the whole thing, because there was already expectation and everybody was like, ooh, what are these new characters that we've loved for such a long time gonna look like and be like, and there's a lot of pressure kind of, but Did you know that going into it? Like, I mean, you knew Laura, so I guess you knew that it was...
Yeah, so, I mean, and I knew that the show was starting to do really well, and the fans were definitely committed to you guys, but I think there's also the added pressure of, like, we're not necessarily playing new characters. It's everybody has a preconceived notion of who these people are because there's been movies, it's everybody reads the book, and then it's like, what's my take on this guy, but still staying true to the story, the way he was written.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you ever played a character like that before, where there was, like, already established?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I haven't.
I don't think I have either. Definitely not on that scale.
Yeah. I mean,
I played Anne of Green Gables, like, in a play.
Okay, that she's pretty...
Yeah, but it's, like, only the people who came to the play saw that, and it's not like it's going to live forever on the internet and be, like, one of the accepted adaptations of that story.
Right.
Which is pretty crazy. A lot of people are asking, so you know that the Lydia book just came out.
Uh-huh.
Do you know at all about what happens in it at all?
I have not read it.
Wow.
Wow. What I meant to say, let's go back to one. Let's take it back to one. What I meant to say was, I've read it twice. I have to leave early because I'm actually going to a book reading.
Oh, you
this.
are?
Yeah,
they
asked
okay.
me to come
oh, that's really cool.
speak,
It's weird that they asked you and not me. That's
well, I
weird.
feel like I play a vital part in your development as a character.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. You're totally right. So, I don't know, this is going to be a spoiler, I guess, to anyone watching who hasn't read the book.
Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. We have to talk about it, Wes.
Shamelessly plug it.
Wickham is a fairly key point of the book, as one might expect, considering that Lydia is considering that Lydia is obviously dealing with the fallout of everything that happened. Everything sort of comes back to him, and I don't know if you... So there's a scene where Lydia confronts Wickham near the end of the book, which was a scene that Rachel
was that what we were going to try and
written.
do? Yeah.
Rachel
God, it was so good.
Yeah, it was good, right?
Yeah.
So you do know it. She had written it. I think this is, well, if you've seen her talk about it at all. If you haven't, Rachel had written a scene where Lydia confronts Wickham that we were hoping to shoot before the end of the series, and it did not happen. And so that is sort of what became this big pivotal scene in the book, was essentially what she had written as a script for us, and we had both read it. And we were, like, very much wanting to do it, but obviously, like, that didn't happen, and I'm glad that it has a life in the book. But, what did you think of it? Do you remember?
I do remember, because I was...
Remember 3 years ago?
It's always sad when you see a scene get cut that
you get excited about.
That you get excited about, and you get excited about because I think it adds some heart and dimension to where we were coming from, and I think it is cool because it, not that it validates any of my actions or your actions, but I think it kind of just put a nice bow to our story, it kind of wraps things up in a nice way.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I think a lot of readers were very excited for Lydia to sort of get that, I don't want to say comeuppance, because it's not. It's not like she punches him in the face, which is what a lot of people wanted, but I don't think that's what would actually happen ever. But she kind of gets to put him in his place, and he needs that. I don't know. I always found Wickham very interesting during the course of the show. Look at your stuff. It looks good. Yeah, Wickham was always sort of kind of one of my most favorite characters in the thing, because I think the way that Rachel constructed him is pretty interesting, and I don't think I'm not obviously trying to, like, excuse his behavior, but obviously I think actors enjoy playing the characters that are a little more twisted, because it gives you more to do and, like, think about where they're coming from and why the heck they would do this sort of thing. And I think the way that Rachel sort of wrote him was really intriguing.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some people missed it because they were just very sort of incensed at how awful he was, which is totally fair. He is pretty terrible, but I think if you, like, give him a second, like, take a second to like sort of look at what his motivations are, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, she humanized him, I feel like. And that's kind of the job of the actor is you can't pick up material and judge it. It's like, why does this guy or this girl do what they do? Why would you fall in love with a guy like this? Why would my behavior be the way that it is? And I think it's fun. It's like, I feel like a detective.
Yeah.
Like looking for the clue. Why would you,
why
would I
do
do what I do?
I love that, like, and Lydia says in the book to him, like, we're not all villains and heroes, like, caught up in this story. Because I think, at least the impression that I got was that he just sort of felt like he had no other choice but to be terrible, because that's, like, who the wife had told him he should be. Which is so cool, because, like, obviously in the bigger spectrum, like, Jane Austen made Wickham the villain, so, like, our Wickham, like, feels like that's all he is, because that's all he's been for 100, 200 years. Yeah. Which is kind of, like, weird and meta. Good job playing a often hated character. You did it. You did it. You did it very well.
It's fun.
So we got some lovely questions from our lovely viewers.
Oh, great.
Oh, actually, So one of the questions is new projects coming up, and I just realized we haven't really talked about your Etsy shop.
Okay.
So will you
tell
us
Let's
a bit
talk
about that?
Let's talk about Chalkscribe.
Chalkscribe.
Yeah, so I started... Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I felt like it was very catchy. And I kind of started doing a bunch of chalkboard art. So I was like, why not just call myself Chalkscribe? And now I do very little chalkboard art.
I feel like I've seen a little bit of your chalkboard art, and it's really good.
Yeah, thank you. It's
really cool.
It's fun. It's kind of... I'm really into the, like, whole... like old school, like apothecary type stuff, and so I started doing that, and a buddy of mine just opened offices over in Century City and asked me to come do all the walls for him, so I did that, and it just led to more work, which was awesome. And then I just started drawing, making like fun stuff, and some friends of mine told me to open an Etsy shop, and I didn't really know much about Etsy or crafting or anything like that, so I just went on and I looked at it and I was like, all right, cool, let's do this. I put up some of my stuff, made some like funny, witty, sarcastic greeting cards, and people just started buying them, and got picked up by a magazine, which is really exciting.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so I figured I would, while I made the Etsy shop, I'd also do an Instagram and just like keep that up to date and keep people
go
follow at Chalkscribe. What?
I think my favorite is your one of the Last Supper with Jesus saying, "Just Venmo me."
Yeah,
I love it.
That's also one of my favorite. It's the first thing I drew. That
really?
That and in the summer, Hocus Pocus.
Oh really?
But I drew that, and I drew the Venmo card.
Hocus one is good too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, now that it's not.
No longer Halloween.
Wow. But those were my favorites. So I was like,
yeah,
okay,
I love it.
Yeah, I'll do this.
It's very simple. It's very like clever.
Yeah.
I really like them. So it's doing well.
Yeah, it's
keeping you busy.
It's doing really well. Yeah, it's keeping me busy. Balancing, making new content, making new cards with starting a new business and getting it out there, and also meeting demands of already purchased orders. So it's like juggling a lot of balls on top of acting. But it's good. It's fun. We're creative people, so.
Yeah, and we were talking about this last month with Daniel, because he's doing all that circus stuff. And like the aerial stuff. I don't really know much about it, but it's really cool. And he was just kind of saying about like how you really have to have some other creative outlet that kind of has nothing to do with acting, just so you feel... so you can like scratch that itch and like feel fulfilled in another way, because if you hang all of your fulfillment on acting, it just is not good. It just probably will not turn out well.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like anything in life, though. I feel like if you, you put all your eggs in one basket and you rely on one thing or one person or whatever to bring you happiness, that's never going to happen. So why not do everything that makes you happy?
It's weird too when like your creative passion is a career, because obviously it's like you're not able to keep it just creative, because all this other business stuff comes into it, and all this political stuff comes into it, and it kind of taints like the love of it, I guess I've found with acting, which is really unfortunate, because I love
You
acting.
think you mean the business side of acting?
Yeah, it just,
Right.
like, you're not able to just keep it as this thing that you, like, love and do, like, you know, for your own personal pleasure, because, like, there's so much that's wrapped up in it in terms of career and, like, business, and I have to do all the right things, and I have to, like, see the right people, and it's not just something you can just do and enjoy, which obviously, like, I'm saying all this, and I know your Etsy shop is, like, probably becoming more than just something you do for fun, because it's, like, a business, but I think finding that balance in terms of, like, loving what you do and also not letting it, like, sort of become something that's only, you know, still, like, finding the joy in it, even when it's something that you have to sort of have a business mind about, can be difficult at times.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, why it's called show business. And
Show business.
but,
You're
you know,
right.
I've always been a big believer that, like, if you follow your, you know, money follows bliss. And,
Sure.
I mean, if you're doing what you love, how could you not do your best work? And people
We'll
hopefully recognize that. And,
For sure.
and then pay for your greeting cards.
And then pay for your greeting cards.
So that's Chalkscribe. That's
Chalkscribe.
Chalkscribe for you.
Check it out. Buy it. Love it. Live it.
Live it, love it, Chalkscribe. There you go. You should be my
Live it,
sayings coordinator.
Chalkscribe. He's a big old poop butt. Dill weed. Dill.